This is Detective Recapped. Today I'm going to explain a 2022 Spanish teen romance film called Through My Window. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. A young student named Raquel is enrolled in a writing class, but instead of participating during class, she carelessly neglects the curriculum. On her way home after class, she recounts the current affairs of her life. She describes her home and living situation, which is meager compared to her neighbors, the Hidalgo family, and their extravagant mansion. They own the world-renowned, prestigious company, Alpha 3. 3 refers to the number of Hidalgo heirs, and one of them she is completely enthralled by. She confesses that she stalks the man on social media and obsesses over everything he does. As she settles in her room for the night, she quickly becomes irritated with her unreliable internet connection. Desperately, she searches for the source of her Wi-Fi's erratic behavior, until the youngest heir, Apollo Hidalgo, calls to her, offering his thanks for sharing her password with him. He clarifies that he hangs out here, by her window, to catch her signal. Because of the mansion's poor reception, his brother gave him the password, and Raquel is befuddled, seeing as she's never given the password to anyone. But when she returns to explain, Apollo's already gone. The loud thumping of bass rudely interrupts Raquel's tranquil slumber that night. To her shock, it's coming from her backyard, and even more shocking is its source, Aries Hidalgo. She bickers with him, demanding that he quit using her connection, but he bites back. He reveals that he knows about Raquel's extracurricular activities, and he knows that she's been watching him, stalking him, and ominously adds that he knows even more about her. He leaves, venomous and flippant, remarking that she's a witch. Classmate, friend, and secret admirer Yoshi meets her at school the next day. They happen upon a shocking scene. One of their classmates, Daniela, is in a compromising position with one of their female teachers. But instead of hanging around to deal with the aftermath, Raquel resumes her top priority, being a voyeur. She feasts her eyes on the tantalizing sight of her studly neighbor at his sports practice from beneath the safety of the school bleachers. The practice is interrupted by a torrent of rain, but she still closely tails Aries to keep up her game. She stumbles over a hole and trips after following him into the woods, getting caught by her target in the process. Instead of admitting she was following him for unsavory reasons, she claims angrily that he has stolen her password and infiltrated her computer. That's when the object of her affection reveals that he knows her embarrassing password, Ares' Greek god. When he asks about it, she begrudgingly admits her true feelings for him. Ares smirks confidently at her, but she is adamant that he will fall in love with her. She begs him to go home, and he names his price, a kiss somewhere on her body. They share a flirty and electric moment, but at the last second, he relents, returning her home. That night, Raquel's mother, Rosa, notices her strange behavior, leading to the discovery of her daughter's infatuation. Breaking and entering is par for the course for her attractive neighbor, as he literally climbs into her window that night to plug back in the internet that she disconnected. Raquel catches him and panics, threatening to notify the authorities. But instead of being bothered, Aries finds it amusing that she would even make the suggestion and laughs in her face. Smoothly, he flips the situation on its head once more, teasing her with impassioned, intimate kisses and caresses. Without a moment's notice, he disappears, the way he came, leaving her wanting more. Yoshi shows up at Raquel's work the next morning with her keys, but he's quickly pushed aside for her playboy suitor. Aries invites her to the opening of his brother's club that night, and before she knows it, she's there, accompanied by her best friend, Daniela. But it doesn't take long for her to lose her friend, in favor of one thing that's always on her mind, Aries. Trailing him slowly around the club, she keeps as close to him as possible without giving herself away. But when she goes to enter a private room, there's security to block her. Enter owner of the club, Artemis Hidalgo, the eldest son of the family. He helps her find Aries, who is now outside. To her delight, she recreates the same situation that he left her in, teasing him, getting him hot and bothered, then cutting it short. Apollo, who now has his eye on Daniela, makes friends with Raquel to get closer to her. As a gesture of kindness, she gets him a drink, which he appreciates because his brother has banned him from imbibing. As the night advances, Apollo gets progressively drunker and admits that he fears his father, which forces the girls to take him back to Raquel's house to conceal his inebriated state. A short while later, and Aries shows up again, climbing through her window. It doesn't take him long to find Apollo. In a moment of vulnerability, urged on by the condition of his intoxicated brother, Aries reveals how his grandfather passed away as a result of anaphylactic shock from a chlorine allergy, a condition that Aries himself shares. Wanting to stay with his unconscious brother, well, at least until his father leaves for work, Aries settles in to lay down next to him. Raquel lays beside him, but soon things take an erotic turn as the man of her dreams begins to explore her with his hands. Things soon reach their climax with the younger Hidalgo brother sleeping peacefully beside them. Raquel gossips to her friends the next day at school about her fiery night with Aries. Daniela is supportive of the budding romance and encourages Raquel, who is in turn doubtful of the playboy's true intentions. While tutoring Yoshi, Raquel finds a brand new cell phone with a note attached to it from Aries. She rushes over to return it to him, instead finding their housekeeper, Claudia. Claudia quickly directs her to the boys' room, only for Raquel to discover that Aries is already on a video call with another girl. She asserts that she will just leave, abandoning the phone, upset with herself for thinking that Aries might have genuine feelings for her. Pursuing Raquel after she attempts departure, Aries is insistent that she accepts the gift, but she offers little in the way of obligatory thanks, determined to leave. Grabbing her hand, the handsome boy solicits her for a kiss. Exasperated, she tries to break free from his grip, but the longing in her heart draws her back towards him. They meet for an explosive kiss, and their bodies intertwine for a bout of heated intimacy. Aries deflowers Raquel. Meanwhile, in her room, Yoshi waits patiently for her return, invited to dinner by her sympathetic mother. Callously, Aries doesn't return Raquel's post-coitus affections and instead ignores her in favor of a video game. She leaves in a rush, accidentally forgetting her necklace, discontent and heartbroken. The next morning, she exchanges texts with Daniela about the situation, noticing in social media photos that Aries is wearing her missing necklace. Back at the Hidalgo mansion, Claudia welcomes Raquel, who is there to claim her necklace. She finds the Hidalgo brothers in a pool with friends, and they compliment Raquel on her beauty. In the awkward silence, she waits for an opportunity to be alone with Aries, who is still wearing her necklace. She accidentally catches a glimpse of the eldest brother kissing Claudia. Suddenly, Aries surprises her by knocking her into the pool. When she tastes salt water, she realizes that he was telling the truth about his chlorine allergy. He leads her back to his room, and because Raquel is still infatuated with him, despite his cold, womanizing nature, she can't help but throw caution to the wind for one more round of ardent lovemaking. In the morning, while they lie together in Aries' room, Juan eats breakfast at the kitchen table. Leaving a vulnerable, naked, and asleep Raquel in his bed, Aries meets his brother, Artemis, to sneak his lover out under their father's nose. Claudia intercepts Raquel, carefully guiding her out of the house without being detected by the boy's father. Raquel is embarrassed and mortified by the situation, thinking that she is only an object of shame to Aries. She seeks solace in Yoshi, who stays the night to console her, still unable to reveal his true feelings. The following evening, a huge party is being thrown, and Yoshi has brought Raquel to distract her from her troubles. Disastrously, it has the opposite effect because she soon discovers through Daniela that Aries is there with Apollo, and he's already flirting with another woman. Yoshi pleads with Raquel to just have fun and forget about it, and out of frustration, Raquel finally relents, dancing her troubles away. But it doesn't take long for her problems to rear their ugly head once more. She spots Aries in a lip lock with the girl from earlier. In their school pool, Yoshi and Raquel lament about their ruined night, and he subtly insinuates his heartfelt sentiments, only to quash them down out of fear. Aries arrives home without the girl that's been on his arm all night. He eagerly boots up his laptop but is disappointed upon learning that Raquel has changed her password. Agitated, he sends her a heated message, giving her a glimpse of his true feelings. He is afraid to be vulnerable, and to clear his head, he goes outside, happening to find Raquel, who is plastered. His irritation dissolves as he takes care of her, helping her to her bed. Seeing her weakness stimulates the same feelings in himself, so in a moment of transparency, he reveals that his family's attitude towards infidelity has caused his feelings toward any commitment to become warped and volatile. He tells her that once, long ago, he caught his mother cheating. Unexpectedly, his father responded heartlessly, claiming that he already knew of the affair and had done the same in return. Countless times, his father pounds the notion into to him that love is a liability and nothing more. Raquel provides relief with a gentle embrace, and Aries breaks, a flood of tears falling from his eyes. She's happy to see this side of him. The next morning, Juan summons Aries, informing his son that he's noticed the shift in his behavior, warning him again against the disadvantages of getting involved with someone. He demands his son to avoid Raquel. Aries attends a soccer match scheduled later that day. He replays the incident with his father over and over in his head, but the sunshine of their blossoming love clears the cloudy thoughts away, and he scores a goal. He flashes the witch on his jersey at her, thinking its significance to them will improve the situation. Further into the night, Aries finds Raquel in the library, actively avoiding him. He pleads for her forgiveness and asks for a second chance. She isn't keen on the idea at first, but his earnest tone convinces her to give him a second chance. Yoshi is the one doing the stalking this time, watching the two hash it out. Raquel follows Yoshi as he leaves in distress. Yoshi shouts at her to realize that Aries is bad for her, and subsequently confesses his feelings for her. The pain is evident in his weary expression as he finally understands that he will always and only be a friend to her. Claiming she'll never see him again unless she leaves Aries, Yoshi walks away. In costume, Aries collects his partner for a date at the Alpha building the next day. There they share a romantic dinner with a gorgeous atmosphere, ending it with an amorous night of passion. Time moves on and Raquel and Aries continue their love affair, having spicy liaisons at school, home, and everywhere in between. While eating dinner, Aries is presented with video evidence of he and Raquel's ongoing relationship, sending his father into a rage. The head of the Hidalgo family verbally berates his son until Sofia tries to quell her husband's irrational anger. Tired of the abuse, Aries retreats, later showing up at Raquel's job to deliver good news. He has planned his future and wants to take up medicine, and he's going to start by working at the same fast food place where she works. Artemis is shocked to discover his younger brother working as a service worker. After work the next day, Aries takes Raquel to a swanky party hosted by the Alpha 3 company. There he introduces her to his parents, leading to a series of awkward interactions. Catering the party is her mother Rosa, and this humiliates Raquel. She tearfully withdraws from the party, upset that Aries would put her in this situation on purpose. Aries tries to explain the coincidence to no avail. She demands to know if he truly loves her, but the man is unable to answer. Artemis confronts Aries for his intolerable actions with Raquel, reminding him of his status as a Hidalgo heir. Apollo eavesdrops sneakily. Aries fires back, revealing that he knows about his older brother's secret relationship. Artemis is unaffected by this news, claiming that they broke up so that he could better represent their father. Aries and Claudia bond over their shattered relationships, while Raquel maintains a cold and dismissive attitude. She avoids Aries altogether and won't even accept his invitation to prom. Yoshi delivers food to the Hidalgo manor and overhears a candid conversation among their family. Raquel is still dejected and miserable, and her mother desperately attempts to support her, revealing an anecdote about her father. His ideas were never published because he lacked the confidence in himself and his work, so she declares that her daughter should not be the same, and tells her to be courageous by coming clean to Aries. Steadfast and with newfound courage, Raquel rushes to the Hidalgo manor to be frank with Aries. Claudia and Artemis hinder her from advancing by telling her that he's in an important family dinner, so she leaves a voicemail, apologizing and explaining that she'll be waiting for him at prom. His father makes sure that he can't check his phone during their meal. Raquel attends prom, eagerly waiting for her date's arrival. As Aries finally arrives, seeing Yoshi, he inquires about Raquel, but Yoshi dismisses him, advising him to leave Raquel alone. Aries admits to his deep feelings for Raquel to Yoshi at the poolside. He then begs Yoshi to hit him to prove his love for her, and the boy's calm demeanor breaks, knocking the air into the half-empty pool. As Yoshi flees, he accidentally knocks over a gallon container of chlorine. Aries comes to, struggling to regain composure. He's unsuccessful and slips on the wet tile as he tries to get out. The chlorine is quickly harming his ability to breathe, and he's struggling to stay conscious. Yoshi retrieves Raquel in a panic, and they both return to the scene to administer aid to the middle Hidalgo. Apollo, who is at the dance with Daniela, is deeply perturbed when he sees his brother being rushed by paramedics to the hospital. In the hospital, Juan blames Raquel for the grave state of his son's health, but Sofia argues back just as the doctor delivers word of their son's condition. Raquel reveals that she is in the process of writing a novel about her time with Aries, and continues to do so while taking care of him in the hospital. she eventually confronts his father regarding her relationship with his son and their sincere feelings for each other. A warm embrace from Raquel greets Aries as he wakes from his stupor. Eventually, the Hidalgos come to accept Raquel and even their son's dream of going to medical school. As they see their son off for the airport, Aries hugs his father tightly. Artemis and Claudia are together and happy again. Before leaving for medical school, Aries confesses that he broke his Wi-Fi on purpose so he could talk to Raquel. They share a beautiful kiss. After he's gone, they continue their relationship as long distance, and Raquel even shares her novel of love and triumph with her literature class. Raquel is in her room, reading a particularly steamy text message from her boyfriend. She touches herself to their conversation. Just then, she is surprised by a noise outside her window, and it's none other than the person she was just texting. Aries climbs in for a final time and joins her in bed for a romantic embrace.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.